Day dawns over Polokwane in Limpopo province. This historic city, formerly known as Petersburg and renowned for its beautiful old buildings and many statues, is to play host for the first time to the ABSA Off-Road Championship for production and special vehicles. The clock is ticking down to the start of round 6 of the championship, and a feeling of excitement and anticipation permeates the cool early morning air. Willie Prinsloo of organising Club Kuppel talks about the route.
For us as a club, as a Kuppel club, it's very important to create a balance and to have an equal footing for the racing. The production vehicles want to enjoy it as much as the special vehicles, and in order to make it enjoyable for both of them, we have to fully utilise terrain to create an advantage for both of them, but yet to make it challenging for all teams. So I think we're in for a spectacle of note.
With 10 designated spectator points, all within easy reach of the start-finish, there was plenty of opportunity for the fans to watch their favourites in action. Reigning champion and current points leader in the proudly South African Nissan hardbody, Hannes Grobler, explains the importance of a good result in the short prologue that precedes each race and establishes the starting order.
It's not so short, it's about 40 kilometers. But yeah, if it's dusty like what it is at the moment, if you start tomorrow 30 seconds behind the front guy and there's no wind, you're going to battle, you're going to fall back within 5 kilos, you're going to fall back maybe a half a minute or a minute to stay out of the dust, and it's going to be very, very difficult to pass the guy in the front. So the guy in the front's got a little bit more confidence if he's there in the front. The only problem there is that you have to look for the road. The guy in the front has to basically run onto the pace, and everybody is running behind him, and he tracks, you know. But yeah, I like to drive in the front, and I think it's good to be in the front.
Teammate Alfie Cox, second in the championship, has won the last 3 races.
Yeah, sure, you know, it's got closer and closer, the championship between Hannes and myself, and we're not finishing the first 2 races, and then them having some problems in the last 3. And winning the last 3, you know, the feeling of winning is just, it's a great feeling. So it's down to the last 3 races, and it's, you know, we've got no team orders, so it's every man for himself. And a little bit of extra that's added now is Duncan Foss is here with the new, you know, the Super D, and I'm sure Duncan wants to show us that he hasn't got soft in his old days driving track car, you know, so he's going to try and prove a point in the new car as well. Honestly, I just think it's going to be a red war out there between 3 red Nissan pickups, but you know, we're going to keep our head, and basically the time trial is very important today. We know it's dusty, it's the end of winter, we haven't had any rain, and sure, the time trial is very important for the start of tomorrow.
Manfred Schroeder and Alec Harris are joint second in the Class D Championship in the Ford Racing Ranger.
The way the point system works, there's 8 races and there's 7 races to count. We've dropped 1 race, so for us now we can't take too many more chances. We have to finish the rest of the races. In the way we drove Lesotho, we weren't racing at all. We were going for a finish, and we ended up with a 2nd in class and 3rd or 4th overall. And now we're back up there with the points again. We've got our races that you sort of target, that I sort of prefer racing. Mafeking was one of them. Here nobody's raced before, so you don't really know what to expect. So first we're going to go for a finish here as well, try and see how many points you can pick up, and hopefully, you know, we'll be on top of the championship again.
Privateers Henry Zamatin and Bodo Schwegler lead the Class D Championship in the Mastercraft Ryobi Mitsubishi.
Yeah, the strategy has to change. You know, we've gone for consistency and reliability, making sure we finish all the events. We're now just about at the end of the season with possibly 2 or 3 races to go, and with our championship having to lose 1 event, your worst result you drop. We've decided, well, if we drop our worst event, we're now tied first with another 2 vehicles. And now we have to actually open the taps up and actually start racing a little bit more. And then if we don't finish 1 or 2 races, yeah, that's a risk you run, you know, but you have to go a little faster now. We have to crank up the pace. We're a little nervous to do that because our finishing record being so high. If we do another 2, then I'll have my 21st on my 45th birthday. So it's got to be balanced, a little bit of temper involved here.
Mark Cormier and Chris Birkin are joint second in Class D in the factory-entered Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i.
The last event was the Lesotho event, and it was a really, really tough event. I think from a privateer point of view, I really felt for them. It was a killer. The vehicle came back, and we've really stripped it right down. The guys did a great job preparing the vehicle again. It's up and running again, and I think it's going to be really good. On a different note, from my point of view, it's quite difficult at the moment. I've gone into a new business venture, so I'm not as such a professional driver. Just trying to keep myself fit on the side and haven't had much seat time. The guys are busy preparing the new super production, which I'm really looking forward to. I mean, I'm out at the workshop every morning basically just to see what's going on and how the progress is going. It's looking really good. My brother's also quite keen to get involved. I mean, both of us are going to be in the same class again, and with the same team. It's going to be a struggle from day one. He's going to be quick. He always has been, and I think it's going to be an interesting year next year. I'm really looking forward to that.
Reigning Class E champions Hugo and Jaap de Bruyn are third in the championship in the Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i.
Ons het 'n baie verskillende seisoen van hierdie jaar as laas jaar. Laas jaar het alles vir ons in plek geval. En hierdie jaar moet ons ry om ons kampioenskap te verdedig. Ons het laas jaar die kampioenskap baie makliker gewen as hierdie jaar. Ons het baie strawwer kompetisie hierdie jaar, maar vir die laaste 3 races, miskien 4, hang nou maar af wat gebeur met Leidenburg. Moet ons hard werk, jy weet, ons het Zayn en Chris as ons grootste kompetisie. Die bakkie word elke keer die beste van ons vermoë voorberei, jy weet. Off-road racing het nie net meer 'n sport geraak wat dit 'n paar jaar terug was wat jy gou vir 'n Saterdagmiddag kan ontspan, jy weet. Hierdie bakkie word, dis 'n werk, dit het 'n werk geraak vir ons op sy eie om hierdie bakkie elke keer voor te berei.
After 5 rounds, this is what the championship looks like, with all titles still very much up for grabs. Terence Marsh is leading the Special Vehicle Championship with brother-in-law Michael Whitehouse in the Nashua Mobile Bat Chev.
The dynamics of the sport have changed quite dramatically over the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, where we ran probably 300 horsepower as the maximum cars out there. Not only has that changed, the cars now between 400 and 550 horsepower, but the terrain itself, the sport has really grown phenomenally, and the terrain is a lot harder and tougher now. And just finishing and competing in these events is become difficult on its own. So it's really been exciting, all these changes, but we've had to adapt as drivers to these different challenges.
Father and son combination Nick and Ryan Harper and their Class A bat have put themselves into contention with a first win in the Lesotho Sun 400.
We're now lying second in the championship, and we've got three races left, and we've got to be able to keep the car together. Drive very fast, but drive conservatively. That's what it's all about with these cars. You've got to keep them together, but you've also got to go like the clappers. It's a very, very competitive class, Class A. We've had 5 races this year and 5 different winners in Class A, and that's what makes it very, very difficult. We're a privateer, so I can't just throw everything at the car. We've got to be conservative, we've got to race and think about what's going to happen at the next race, because we haven't just got all the money in the world to throw at it. And we've got to just make sure that this car holds together for the rest of the season.
Evan Hutchison and Trevor Ormerod are having a dream first season together in the Class B motorized racing bat Nissan.
I started racing quads on my own as a privateer, using my own money. Unfortunately, we had some success, and I needed to take that success and try and turn it into a professional operation in order to try and create some income for the team and to go racing on a more professional level, because it is a very expensive sport and it's very difficult to do it without sponsors. So I've been doing it for long enough that by the time I got to the cars, I realized that there only is one way that you can do this, and that is on a very professional level. We were confident that we were able to get some results this year, and that's obviously also very important for the sponsors, that you can promise them some results. But as well as that, you need to have a very professional operation with regards to the way the team looks, with regards to the way the team runs. We spend a huge amount of time on working on the car. We strip the whole car down between every single race. Everything gets stripped, everything gets checked, everything gets rebuilt. So there's a huge amount of work and effort that goes in behind the scenes that you don't really normally get to see. It's not just the fun we have on the race day, it's all the hours and hundreds of hours that get put in behind the scenes with regards to prepping cars, with regards to running the whole program, the motor ride program, trying to get the right amount of exposure out there so that the sponsors are happy.
So yeah, it is very involved and quite in depth, but it's worthwhile. We love it.
With 3 races remaining, it's tight at the top of the title chase, with Hutchison and Ormerod clear leaders in Class B.